Below is a long-form, emotionally engaging story based on the title. Janitor's little girl comforted a woman after a failed blind date, not knowing she was a billionaire, with a powerful hook and deep emotional development, perfect for approximately 15-minute YouTube narrative. The evening air was tinged with a chill when Hannah stepped off the bus, her heels clicking awkwardly against the cracked sidewalk. She pulled her coat tighter, trying to hide more than just the slight tremor in her hands. She was trying to hide how deeply her confidence had been shaken minutes earlier. The blind date she had been so hopeful about never showed. No explanation, just a flurry of unread messages. She felt small, abandoned in a city that demanded perfection and offered none. Across the small square sat a little girl, no older than 8, with tangled hair and the kind of earnest gaze that immediately held attention. She was cleaning scraps of trash with a tiny cloth beside a tired old man in a faded janitor's uniform. The man looked up, exhausted, but the girl's cheerful hum never wavered. Hannah slumped beside them, shoulders heavy. She hadn't noticed the girl at first, until a soft voice asked, without judgment, "Are you okay?" The girl's name was Emma, and she walked with the simple certainty of someone who had seen hardship but never let it harden her heart. Her father, Carl, a night shift janitor at the office tower nearby, always told her the world was full of stories, some sad, some beautiful, but every person deserved kindness. Carl had raised Emma alone since her mother's passing 2 years ago, teaching her that a warm word could cost nothing but change everything. Emma didn't know who Hannah was. She only saw a woman who needed comfort. She offered her a piece of the cookie she had saved from dinner. It was a humble snack, but to Emma, it was worth sharing. Hannah laughed softly through tears as the girl talked about absurd things like how clouds looked like cotton candy and how her favorite superhero was the night janitor who always helped fix the broken vending machine. As they talked, the clock in the square struck 10. The few passers-by shot curious glances at the trio, but no one stopped, no one except Emma and Carl. "That was supposed to be the best night of my year," Hannah whispered, fighting back emotion. But he didn't even care to send a text. Emma shook her head with the earnest innocence only a child could wield. "If someone doesn't show up," she said, "it's not because you're not enough. It's because they missed something important, like seeing something special right in front of them." Hannah's eyes glistened. She hadn't had someone speak to her like that in years. Not since her parents' passing had she allowed anyone to see her vulnerability without fear of judgment. Just then, a sleek black car with tinted windows pulled up nearby. A well-dressed chauffeur stepped out and asked if Hannah Parker was present. Hannah looked up, confused. The chauffeur explained that Ms. Parker was urgently needed at the Harrison Foundation Gala, a major event for the charity she'd worked years to build. She was the founder and CEO, but too humble and private to ever broadcast it. Tonight, she was supposed to make her keynote speech. And now she was late. She stared at Emma and Carl, stunned. The world had mistaken her sadness for weakness. But now she remembered who she was, someone who had spent years building schools for underserved children and funding community shelters. People depended on her courage. Hannah insisted Carl and Emma get a ride home with her driver, but they refused. Carl smiled gently. "You've got your own world to run, Ms. Parker," he said kindly, unaware of who she really was. "Just remember what this city gave you: beauty, hope, and a little cookie." Hannah watched them walk away, her heart full. She dashed to her car, promising herself she'd carry that simple lesson with her. At the gala, she delivered her speech not as a powerful CEO of billions, but as a woman reminded of her humanity, because a little girl had cared enough to speak truth into her darkest moment. Her message that night wasn't about wealth or success, it was about small kindnesses that change lives. Weeks later, Hannah returned to the square with an unexpected gift: a scholarship fund in Emma's name and new plans to improve working conditions for custodial staff across the city's public places, including a program to support the children of working families like Carl's. Carl and Emma stood in awe, watching the woman they'd comforted become the one to change their world. Emma looked up at Hannah and smiled, her eyes shining with belief. "See, you were worth it," she said. Hannah knelt, hugged her gently, and whispered back, "And so are you." Inspiring message. True wealth isn't in bank accounts, it's in compassion, courage, and seeing value in everyone, no matter their place in the world. Would you like this adapted into a screenplay format or split into YouTube chapters with timestamps? P.